What's up? Today, I'm going to show you how to use heavy hits. And before we jump into the actual video explaining the website in detail so you guys understand how to use every little nook and cranny there is, because it is the best record pool in the world.
A great success!
If you could like and subscribe to the YouTube channel, we would greatly appreciate it. Serge and I have been working hard trying to get everything up. We're also working hard to try to bring in some other outside sources to give you guys different videos from different DJs' perspectives rather than me just blabbing away. So when you first get onto Heavy Hits, you're going to see a homepage like this or something like this. We're going to change out the images. There'll be more playlists. There'll be different things in the featured section. So this featured section right here is this top bar that you see that's animated, that's rotating out different things that we have going on, things that we feel like people would benefit from. So we really want to highlight those. Those might be some really cool mixes that we've just had on the Mixcloud, or any sort of like playlists that we think are really unique and really stand out and we think need to be pushed up more. This is where we have that. So right when you get on the homepage, you can start rotating through some of the different playlists and mixes that we have featured on the site. We also have a little latest section too. And it's important to note too that if you click on any of these things too, they're also just like embedded links. So if I click on it, it'll take me like right to this playlist. Same thing with like these mixes or any of these playlists in the featured section. It'll jump right to there so you can get immediate access to those things. Next to that, we have the heaviest hits and heavy picks section. So heaviest hits are the stuff that's trending. So if you don't want to get the full charts list and you just want to get the top 10 of what's currently trending on the site, if you just click on this tab, you could just go through and just download all of them and you'll be good to go. So next to the heavy hits section is the heavy picks section. So from here, this is more of like a staff guest picks thing that we do from one member of the team every single week. We try to use every single genre just to make sure it helps diversify the crates more for people. And we rotate the team out here, so you get a bunch of different perspectives every different week of what we as DJs think is trending or what we think is doing really well from personal experience that's on the site itself. Now, scrolling down on the actual homepage here, we have the new releases section. So this is just in chronological order of things that have been posted and uploaded to the site in terms of tracks. So on here, you can see whenever there is a track listed, you see the name of the track, you have the artist here, and then you have the little thing bubble you can hover over here to let you know what the tags are, the danceability, energy, mood variance, as well as the genre of the track. Once you use the site more, you can start to see that we have our genres color coded. So I know, like, before I even look at the track that or listen to the track, it's going to be hip hop because of its red icon. That's the color code that we use in the designation for hip hop. I know that this is going to be a dance track because of the greenish sort of color that's there. Now, if you want to download these actual tracks, all you have to do is just click on the downloads button. And then all the different versions of that track will come up. So there's only one version of this track right now, but let's say we go down to, I don't know. Usually we have a clean and a dirty. If we're really seeing that it's like a very, very popular track, we might do like a super clean version. Like I know for Tap In, we have a clean, a super clean. We might have a version where we just take all the vocals out because it's a very uncensored track, but that's besides the point. And if you actually want to hear the track, all you have to do is just hit the little play button here, and then it'll play on our little preview section down here. You can even skip around through the track too. So the site is very interactive. You can just jump around as much as you want. Basically everything on the site that you click is either an embedded or it's an interactive thing that you can do with the site. It's pretty crazy. Oh yeah, I almost forgot the most important part. We have a dark and a light mode. So, you know, weird flex. But if you want to go into light mode, we have a light mode. I personally like the dark mode, but some people prefer the light mode. So you can use that if you like that option. Up here, there is also a Dropbox mode. So you can see here how the download, words are hard. Once I click this Dropbox enable button, you'll notice the download boxes change to actual Dropbox icons. So if I enable Dropbox mode, right, and let's say like I'm going through fast and I really want to just highlight a bunch of different tracks to download later, I can just, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, I don't know. You can pick the exact version you want to. You can just go through and you can select a bunch of different tracks and their actual versions that you want. And then you'll see on the top section here, there's a generate Dropbox button. If you click on that, you can actually save your tracks directly to your Dropbox, which is super nice. So if you need to go through quickly and you want to make a big zip folder and you want to save your tracks to it that way, we do offer that as well on the website. Another thing you can do too is you can add songs to a certain crate. So let's say you're trying to design a crate and you want to be very specific. So let's say you're going for more of that like 2000s primetime hip hop thing, right? And there's this edit of Stronger that DJ Noise has that I like personally. I think it's really handy that you have this acapella in and out. Even the short version's really nice. So once I've actually clicked on the track, you can go down here to where it says add to download later crate. And if you click on it, it goes into your My Crate section, was on the tabs here on the left. So if you click on My Crate, boom. Then you have this sort of mini crate that you've made, and you can then download all of those and add those to a crate. So it can help you stay organized too for a more like organized dig of music. Now, since we're already on these side tab sections, I'm just going to start from My Crate and go up here and explain kind of what each section is. Now, the next section up from the My Crate section is the exclusive section. So if you just want to hop over and see what the newest exclusive edits that are on Heavy Hits, so obviously the edits that our edit team makes that you can only download on Heavy Hits, you could just go through here and you could download some special like dance hall samples that Chemix has made. You can go through and you can get some of your favorite Surge Sniper edits. You can go through and get some noise edits. Maybe one of my edits is on here. I don't know. If my edits are on here, you could download those too. You can obviously download the JK edits too. Those ones are really popular, but you get the gist. You can go through as well, and you can even select the genre that you want of the exclusive. So let's say you're only looking for exclusive pop edits, right? You only want some unique pop edits. So you can get this brand new DJ Transit edit. You can get one of my edits. You can get a JK edit, and then you can kind of just filter through what you're looking for. So if you want some really unique edits that are exclusive to the site and you want to search by genre, because maybe you're more of a dance music DJ and you want kind of some acapella in and outs to really spice up your set, you can go through here and actually use the exclusive section and enhance your genre search. So like kind of narrow the focus of it. And then you can really pick and choose what kind of edits you want, and you can get very specific. Next up, we have a charts section. So these are obviously all of the trending songs that are currently on Heavy Hits. This is by download count actually. So the Heavy Hits charts, if I'm not mistaken, are based off of download count. So Freaky Deaky has been the most downloaded track on Heavy Hits for the last 7 days. So up here is the time span you can see in days. So what you can actually do is you can filter through genre, like I showed you guys with the exclusives. You can also do that in here, but you can also adjust the days. So let's say we just want to go for the last 365 days, like the last year, right? You can see what's been the most downloaded songs in the last year. This includes exclusives, everything. Now, a lot of times the full year stuff is going to be all the viral hits, the originals, all that jazz. But you can see even in the 7-day time span, I think it's an Isaac Jordan edit is actually in the top 10, top 5. Yeah. So Isaac did an acapella in for Pablo, one of the new Kanye West tracks, and it's really high up on the charts right now, to be honest. It's pretty crazy how high it is. You even have an E1 edit over here too. You have a Ronald edit, a Surge edit. So you could start to see too that a bunch of exclusives also start to creep into the high chart sections as well. And let's say maybe you forgot and you need to dig up some music and you forgot kind of what's been popping in the last month or in the last couple months. You can even go up to 90 days and you can go back and look at the last 3 months and it'll sum it all up together. And what's ever been the most downloaded, you'll see kind of rise to the top. I almost forgot something. So, okay. The charts section, right? Side note, I forgot this. So, very important. We have actually integrated a different chart source too. So you can go to a place besides Heavy Hits to look at the charts. So you can go on Spotify. We have integrated Spotify charts into the actual charts that we have on the site. So like I said, you can go from Heavy Hits to Spotify, and then you can select a popular playlist that's actually off of Spotify that we've integrated with the site. So I have Rap Caviar here. So you can see you got the new Jack Harlow, new Kodak Black, Gucci, like all the stuff is on there that you would need. And then on the homepage, I showed you guys that new releases section. You can go into the more detailed version of the browse section here in new releases. So you can even search your new releases by genre too. So let's say you only want Latin, right? You only want stuff that's recently been on the site in Latin. We have it organized by date too for you guys. So you can see like, oh, these 3 tracks were added today that were Latin. The day before that, these 3 tracks. The day before that, on the 21st of March, of 2022, we added this track. So you can even go by a day once you start to like specifics. And once you get into the new releases section, you can really start to narrow down and you can nitpick. Like that's what the site is kind of all about, is you can get really specific with what you're looking for. And the filtering and the search features is what really makes the site stand out, in my opinion, from other sites. Now, another thing I want to touch on is the actual specifics you can get into if you click on the track. So let's go to just edit of Anaconda, right? So I'm going to click on the actual word of the track. Once you click on it, something like this should pop up. Now, this stuff is great. Like just the layout of it's super helpful for any DJ out there. It has all of the integration with sort of like mixed in key and harmonics in it, which is fantastic. There's the danceability percentage, the energy, popularity, mood variance. These aren't things that I necessarily follow, but there are some DJs that do follow this. So if you're really into that, you can click on the tracks and get super specific in terms of these type of statistics. Under that, you also have the different versions and related tracks. So let's say you're looking at the original version of Anaconda. If you were to click on that, this remix and this edit would come up under the related section. From there, the site actually recommends other tracks that would harmonically mix very well with this track. So let's say you're more of like a tech house DJ and you really value that kind of perfect harmonic mixing strategy, those more long, melodic, drawn out mixes. This is where you're going to really thrive on the site, is if you're going into a tech house track, you click on it and you're kind of in a rut in terms of designing a very specific set. You can look at the multitude of options that the site's going to give you. It's going to give you about 8 to 10 options for every track you click on with a harmonic track with kind of the similar tempo. So it almost spells out the set for you. Like you can kind of just go down the line and just be very successful that way as well. So now moving up here, we're actually going to click on the more social side of things, which is the blog. So we have a blog here for heavy hits. So Greg heads up a majority of these. He also gets a lot of guests on here. So for example, we had an interview with Epps that we did recently. We have all the video recaps, other sort of things out there, like how to be a TikTok DJ. Like if you want to be one of those super trendy, flashy TikTok DJs, we have a piece on it. So if you kind of want to see what we're talking about as a team, or as what Greg is kind of talking about, thinking about people who he's reaching out to, etc., this is where you're going to be able to get some of your news as well as some of the information that's been going on with heavy hits. Next up from the blog, we have something that has been thrown around for a while now, but is finally on the site. And honestly, I think this is like the greatest thing that we've done, frankly, other than the search features. This is fantastic. We have a Remixers page, okay? So on the Remixers page, let's say you're joining a record pool because you really love Isaac Jordan. You know, like Isaac Jordan is your man. He's your favorite DJ. He's got all the pineapples. So basically you want to get all of his edits. From here, you can click on their picture, okay? And then all of Isaac's edits will come up in the chronological order they've been released. So you can go through and you can download every single Isaac Jordan edit. And this applies to everyone on the team. You know, myself is on there, Chemix is on there, Dylan's on there, E1's on there, John's on there, JK, Greg, Mighty, Mike. So if there's a certain DJ that maybe you have a couple of their edits and you really like what they've been doing, maybe you can, you know, click on their name, right? And then you can go back, you can scroll down, and you can kind of work front to back, actually. So E1 has a lot, for example. So you really like E1, and you've downloaded a couple of his more recent edits. You can scroll down, and you can just hit the last button, and you can go all the way back to some of his first edits he ever put on heavy hits. And you could just work that way, too. So you can go back in his catalog and actually look for him that way. And we only have 2 more things to talk about when it comes to the site, but these might be kind of the base, like, this is what made heavy hits, to be honest. Like this is what really set it apart from the beginning. And that next tab up is the playlist tab. So I have been kind of responsible for the playlist for about the last 2 years now. And there was a point where we were doing a playlist every single day. Like it didn't matter if it was a holiday or not, like we were doing playlists. So we have a lot of playlists on the site. And that is why we integrated a search feature into the playlists as well. So yeah, it's nice that you can go on the homepage and you can kind of look through the first few playlists. But if you want to go back and really see all the stuff that we have going on, this is where to go. And I'm not even going to use a keyword search right now because I'll explain that once we actually dive into the search bar. But on these tabs, for example, you can search by title if you want to do that, or you can get really specific with the category and the other tags in these two columns. So I'll start with those two. So we have some common kind of labeling that we do for playlists. So any sort of like best of, let's say it's like a 2 Chainz best of, right? You're going to get all of his tracks. Let's say you're doing like a Mustard, like a DJ Mustard party, right? And that's all you're DJing is just Mustard beats. You can go to like a best of and then like type in Mustard, and then a best of DJ Mustard playlist will come up, and then you can download all of his greatest hits that way. We also have a charts category, which is a little bit different from our standard charts category. So we might be highlighting what's trending on TikTok or what's on Shazam, something that's not as common, but is still like relevant to DJs out there. We do that as well. Essential is more like staple playlists that every DJ should have, in our opinion. So like big time wedding playlists, certain types of dance music, certain years and like decades and what was like the big hits in that time, or certain exclusive edits. Those are kind of what fall under the essential section. Featured is just stuff that's going to be featured on the front page. So all the playlists. Heavy hits podcasts, those are all like, that's the mix series that we have going on. And that's like the weekly thing that we do. So if you want to only go through the podcast mixes and see what tracks and get the track lists and download the songs from the mix, you can do it that way on the site. Miscellaneous is miscellaneous. Sampled by is kind of like our nerdy, like who sampled version of it. So we go like track by track on an artist. So like, let's say sampled by like Kanye West. Kanye West sampled a lot, right? We have like a sampled by Kanye West playlist. So we'll have like Touch the Sky, Kanye West. And then under that, we have Move On Up, Curtis Mayfield. So, and then we do that. We kind of just go down the line and then we structure it for DJs. So you can have a crate with the sampled song, the original, samples, original, sampled, original, like all that jazz. Staff and guest picks is more of like team playlists. So let's say there's sort of like some new disco tracks out that some DJ's using that he really likes on the team. He might send me that playlist. I'll look over it. And then that's where you would get those kind of playlists. And international is just a section dedicated to other DJs outside of the United States, because a lot of the team is in the United States, but we are a global record pool without a doubt. And sometimes a lot of DJs, especially in the United States, myself included, can kind of forget that there's a whole other world out there with different types of music and different types of communities trying to push different type of subgenres out into the world. The international section is where you're going to find like German rap, French house, like different types of those subgenres, or like ballet funk or something like that. That's where you can kind of start to get those different subgenres that are prevalent, but are just starting to break into the mainstream. That's where you're going to find those things. And tags, we have a lot of tags. They're very self-explanatory, so I don't even know if I'm going to go through them. There's a lot. But I'll just use the category in the tag section. I can kind of show you how it works. So let's say I am looking for an essential playlist, right? And I want it to be based around a, I don't know, let's say I'm DJing a wedding, right? So I go to the tag that says wedding. From here, you'll see we have 12 different playlists that all kind of relate to the wedding. So anything that falls in a wedding category or has tracks in it that I feel like a DJ could really benefit from if they were DJing a wedding, that's where I'm going to tag it. So you might ask yourself, like, why is classic redrums or redrum edits, like, why would that even be in your wedding column? That's because once you click on the playlist, you'll start to see, oh, you have Take Me Home Tonight, Old Time Rock and Roll, Living on a Prayer, Sweet Child of Mine, like all these like classic songs that people would love to hear at a wedding. We put the wedding tag on it because the redrum edits we have are perfectly quantized. They're remastered. They sound great when you're DJing. You could put them right next to a current modern, like 2022 mix and master track, and it might actually sound a little bit better than that track. So you can start to see that you can get very specific. Like within 2 clicks, I was already on a playlist and filling up my crate with like, I mean, I could have put like 7 or 8 songs in there by now, and I can kind of just keep going. And within a matter of an hour, I'm ready for my gig. And the last thing, drum roll please. The search bar. So the search bar for heavy hits is amazing. So I'll just hit the down arrow here, the filters section, so you can kind of see what we're working with. So in the actual search bar, you can search by genre. So we have the 6 main genres. You have electronic dance, hip hop, R&B, international, Latin, pop, and reggae. Okay. You can even get more specific and search by the version, the key, the BPM, the decade of the actual track. You can also filter by danceability energy. I don't even know how to pronounce that. And popularity. See, this is how much I use this section. I don't. But I use this section a lot and the popular tag section a lot too. But I'll give you guys a quick example here. So let's say we are looking for, I don't know, a dance track. Okay. We want it to be, it doesn't really matter what version it is right now, but let's say I want it to be in the key of 9A on the Camelot wheel. BPM, you kind of have these little brackets that you can choose from. So we'll go for more of like a slower lounge house, maybe like a 110, 119 kind of Catronati style. Decade, we'll just go 2010s. You can also add tags to the search as well. So let's say I want to be an exclusive. So an exclusive electronic dance track that is in the key of 9A, that is in the tempo range between 110, 119, and is from the decade of 2010s. Search. And then it gets so specific to where it filters everything off the site. And there's only 4 tracks that pop up. Now, usually when you're searching by key, it's really going to like slash the list down. It's really going to cut it down. But you can get this specific with the search bar. Like you can really hone in on exactly what you're looking for. So you see what I'm saying? Like the possibilities are endless. And even on top of that too, once you hone in on the search bar itself, you can then filter it. Like, so let's say you want to sort by BPM, or you want to sort by key, or by the release year, or by the date it was added to the site. Let's say I want to sort by the year, right? If I click on that, it'll actually flip it. So it's going from the release year 2018 up to 2021. So it's crazy. Like you can hone in on the search, and then you can even add another layer to it, and then you can even adjust the columns accordingly. And I think that actually covers it. It's a freaking lot. Like there's a lot with the site, and I would not be surprised if, like, let's say you get on heavy hits, and it happened to me too. Like I had to be like, wait a minute, how do I do that again? Because we've put so much time into the site. Not me specifically, because I'm an idiot, but the people who are actually responsible for programming and creating the site put a lot of time and effort into this, and it was made by a DJ for DJs. Because I know how frustrating it is to be very specific with your searches and really trying to hone in on what you're looking for, and that's what this site has kind of done. It's really has every sort of avenue covered that you would ever kind of want in a record pool, and then some. All right, that does it for me today. Hopefully you guys learned something new. If you did, make sure to like, subscribe, all of that good stuff. And if you know anyone who's using heavy hits or is brand new to the site, be sure to share this link with them. I promise it'll help them out. It can be or seem a little overwhelming, but once you really get a grasp of the site, the possibilities are endless, and you can get exactly what you're looking for in seconds compared to what you can get on other record pools. But until the next video, take it easy, and I'll be back soon.